What's up, motherfuckers? Welcome back to another episode of the Lowlife motherfucking Chopper Podcast.
Well, how's it going, you turd burglars?
We're back live and direct. Hopefully, our fucking recording software doesn't decide to be a cunt tonight. And if it does, we need all of you to write in to Riverside and tell them to fix this shit.
Yeah, this is fucking fucked up.
Mine's uploading as we speak. I thought we weren't doing that.
I just turned it off.
Anyways, housekeeping this week. Hey, Chop Luck went down last weekend. If you missed it, sucks to be you, faggot. It was a great fucking time. It was a blast. People showed up. We had so much good food. A lot of money was won on the CeeLo table. There was quite a bit of money going around on that CeeLo
I went
table.
broke, man. I woke up the next day. I was like, where the fuck? I was expecting to pull out like a wad of ones. I had nothing.
Nothing.
I lost it all.
I had 0 ones when I came
So those big
home.
money games get you.
Yeah, we're doing $5 games, $2 games, $10 games.
I don't know who took it all.
I think Moonbeam took a bunch of it. Mary. I think she was fucking people up for a while. Either way, it was a lot of fucking fun. We raised, we got a lot of toys donated. I went down to the local church to where I'm at. My wife's grandfather actually helps out at this church. And so I met him Sunday morning.
Nice.
He was there, the pastor was there, and they were so grateful. They were like fucking pumped. And they said they had a couple more families they were trying to help, so it was like it came in clutch for them. So that was super fucking cool. So thank you to everybody that came, donated. We literally had a table full of toys. Batman fucking brought a bike, like a pedal bike. There was so much cool shit. Scooters, fucking all kinds of cool shit. So thank you to everybody that came out to the Chop Luck, made that shit possible. It was a lot of fun. I think it was what a lot of people fucking needed. There was so much good food. Just good times all around. So huge shout out to everybody that showed up for that. Other news. I don't know if you've noticed.
That's your good deed.
But we've been blowing up that motherfucking store. There is so much goddamn fucking Lowlife merch right now. You could buy a different piece of Lowlife merch for every member of your family. All right? Listen, I'm here to tell you, your boy stepped up the merch game heavy. Ryno has just been designing gear like he's fucking the creator of Rockaware. He's the next best thing. There is so much shit. Top seller right now, the camp mugs. People loving the fucking camp mugs.
Oh, yeah, big time.
Orders are coming in every fucking day.
I saw you got one of those.
Yeah, I ordered one. Dude, people are buying up the camp mugs like fucking crazy. Orders are coming in every day, so we appreciate all you motherfuckers that are doing that. And listen, you can see right here, the prices are on here. Nobody else got shit for this cheap. You picking up t-shirts on quality.
Nothing over 20.
On quality shirts. $20. $20 fucking dollars. Money is temporary. Shovel heads are forever.
This one.
You need that shirt.
I got to give a shout out to Fish Tank Whiskey came up with that like 2 years ago. And I was like, I'm going to steal that. I'm going to steal that for a t-shirt. So shout out Fish Tank Whiskey. And we have other big news in the store. Oh, I can't close that with the foot. I'm going to show first. This is a Lowlife first. We have women's apparel.
Oh,
this is the Lady Lowlife tee. So for our small lady listening audience, we do have a t-shirt for you.
Or get one for your girl when you
fit.
order shit, and she won't fucking be mad at you.
Yeah.
But listen, so we got regular t-shirts.
I ordered a bunch of shit. I got the hats and all that shit.
Yeah, I seen you've been ordering shit like crazy. We got regular t-shirts. We got snapbacks. We got beanies. We got 3 different styles of coffee mugs. So listen, if you go up to we got a hoodie, which is dope. I got to order one of these. I got to get one where it says motherfucker across the back, though.
Dude, and by the way, $30.
$30 for a hoodie. Dude, go look on any one of your other
$30 hoodie.
Go look at everybody else's shit. Hoodies are $50-$60. We're $30. All right? And this is all quality shit. This isn't cheap shit. But listen, camp mugs. Scroll up to the camp mugs real quick.
Yeah.
Camp mugs, there's 3 different kinds, all right? So these white ones, these are camp mugs. These are metal mugs coated in enamel. Super fucking tough. You can strap them right to your fucking bag. They can bounce off your sissy bar. They're not going to break, right? They're super fucking cool. One says Ride Shoppers, fuck the rest. The other one says FTW, fuck the world, or Forever 2 Wheels. And then we also have your regular ceramic mug for inside the house. All right? These are great for in the fucking house. I don't recommend bringing them in the garage, because if you're an asshole like me, you're just going to break them all the fucking time. But this is a nice fucking mug for inside the house. Highly recommend the camp mugs. These things they won't break. Drop them on the fucking ground, they're good to go. So go grab those things. Those are for the fucking low price of, what are they, $13? $13. You fucking shit me, bro? We got fucking fire deals here.
$13.
Buy these for your fucking homies for Christmas. I promise you they're not going to be mad if you do. So you can go check that shit out. Can you scroll to the very top?
That's the very top.
There it is.
I'm on our...
Oh, fuck, that's not it. Yeah. You're on our actual page.
Oh, you want the URL?
Yeah.
It's in our link tree.
Instagram. Some people don't have Instagram.
Shit up. Yeah. Yeah, I'll get the link.
Actually, I think I might even have it saved.
I'll pull it up. It's lowlifechopperpodcast.bigcartel.com. lowlifechopperpodcast.bigcartel.com.
There you go. That's all the merch.
Boom.
That's for all your fucking merch needs. You can go get that right meow. Nothing on that site is over.
For the other shirts that I've been sending out, we're almost sold out. So thank you everybody that placed an order with me to get the garage built shirts, the $20 swag bags. We have very limited quantities. We're all out of XL. I think we have like a large left, maybe. We have some mediums.
Oh, that's just fucking.
But that's it. Large and mediums.
We need to have a garage build shirt put on our website. Something about garage builders.
Yep. If you guys have t-shirt designs and shit that you want, or just sayings, like I love those old biker sayings, you know what I mean? Like if you have some funny ones or some cool ones,
muff too tough.
Let me know what they are. I'll fucking put them on a shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, shit like that. Fucking send it over.
Yeah.
We'll put it in our font, throw a Lowlife fucking logo on it, and call it ours.
Call it a day. So go check out the store. Like I said, the more shit we can sell in the store, the more shit we'll make. We do not make a bunch of money on the shirts or anything on that store, for a matter of fact. That's why it's so cheap. Like I'm saying, like $1 or $2 off each thing. So don't think this is like some kind of fucking get rich scheme, because it's not.
Yeah. It's actually, I just want people to wear our shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's it.
And I want to wear our shit.
Same.
I like representing ourselves.
Yes, go check out the store. If you guys have any questions about anything, or you want show topics or whatever, and you're just one of those guys that don't have fucking Instagram, listen, simple. Lowlife Chopper Podcast. What is it? What's the email for the show?
We have Lowlife Chopper Well, for our official email, we just have Ryno or Loctite at lowlifechopperpodcast.com.
Right, yeah.
And Ryno is spelt phonetically Ryno.
Yes. Yes, you can send any kind of questions or fucking whatever to there if you don't have social media. What was the other thing I was gonna say? I don't. Oh, listen, do us a fucking favor. There's still people that hit us up every week that are like, "Oh shit, just found out you're still doing the podcast." Do us a favor when we share it out on Friday, the new episode. It's real simple. On Instagram, when you see it, click that little thing that looks like a fucking arrow, and it lets you share our post to your story. It helps get the word out that, hey, these dudes are still fucking recording. Because when the whole shit, when we got canceled, a lot of people fucking lost it. So help these motherfuckers find the podcast again. Share it out when we put it out on Friday. We greatly appreciate it. With that being said, do you have any more housekeeping?
Yes. Well, should we do the monthly giveaway for next month? Just mention it up front.
Yeah.
Okay. Because this is so cool. I just have to. You heard them here. Oxford. Move the mic. Can't fit it all. Dude, Oxford Chopper Co. Chris down there in fucking Oxford, Connecticut guy. He sent us these for the chop luck, and I'm like, bro, these are too nice for a door prize. These are going to the laddies. We're gonna give these away in January. They're stainless steel. I don't even understand how they work. Like the bar doesn't go through all the way. It's like fucking. I'm gonna have to ask him about how that works. But for your cables and fucking wiring and shit, all stainless steel, all TIG welded. Beautiful set of bars, dude. I almost was gonna be like a fucking scumbag and just be like, oh yeah, I misplaced them, and then just like ride around with them because they're so nice. They're like perfect. They're like perfect height. They're like so badass. But we're gonna be doing this in January. We're giving a little extra time. $10 a month on Patreon gets you into the giveaway. So even if you just sign up for January and then cancel after, you want to get in on this bar giveaway. But yeah, Oxford Choppers. Listen to his episode, Oxford's Finest. We did a couple weeks back. Super good dude, super solid dude, and a fucking craftsman dude. Now that I have these in my hand and I'm holding them, it's just like these are legit. They are legit, dude.
They're so
amazing, amazing craftsmanship. So yeah. Get on that Patreon, y'all. I think that's it for housekeeping.
I got some housekeeping. It's snowing like a bitch at my house right now.
It's been snowing for a couple hours here.
Like I'm saying, bro, it just started snowing. The ground is fucking straight white right now.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't like that when I came in here. I hate to tell you.
Oh, that happened since you came home.
Yeah. Even when I was outside coming into the garage, it was not snowing.
Yeah.
And then I just got like a pop-up fucking thing on my security camera, and it was like, hey, some shit's happening. And I clicked on it, it was fucking snowing out.
No shit. The motion detector went off. Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's going to be a white Christmas, hopefully.
Hopefully not.
Hey, that's the only time I welcome snow. I want some magic for my kids, and they get pumped, dude. When it's snowing out, they're like twirling around in circles and shit. They're like, there's nothing more magical than snow on Christmas, dude, you know?
Yeah.
But then after that, January, February, cut it out. No more snow.
Yeah, I don't want it at all. I hate it.
A nice little sprinkling. It's nice on Christmas morning. As long as you don't have to move it, it's no problem. Like if you can just get in your car and drive, fuck it. It's only when you get like a ton of snow and you have to like,
or like
move
when you're
it.
commuting an hour to work.
Yeah, that does suck. Yeah,
not a fan.
Yeah, but that's an excuse to just be like, oh, I'm late because of the snow.
Yeah,
the roads were bad.
I'm just not coming
in. Yeah. I'm not. I don't drive in the snow. Can they fire you for that?
I mean,
in New England, I think they can.
probably. All right, so that's the housekeeping. Listen, this week for you OG listeners, you'll remember I did an episode called "Get to Know Your Guest." I mean, your not your guest, your host. Get to know your
That would make
host.
more sense.
Where it's pretty much like the backstory on me, let you guys understand who the fuck I am, where I came from, how I grew up, what made me who I am today. Ryno's never done that. So today we're gonna do a get to know your host with Ryno, the man behind all of the production for this show. Um, and then by the end of this episode, you'll understand why Ryno is the way he is.
Hopefully, yes.
Hopefully.
It's a twisted web I weave, my friends.
For you guys that have not heard the one that I did, I know shit got fucked up when we got canceled and all that, but we're going to try to get that episode uploaded again. That way, when you hear this, you're like, oh, what the fuck? I never heard Loctite talk about this shit before. Hopefully, we'll be able to get it uploaded. You'll be able to listen to it. I'll say this: don't listen to it with your children. There's a lot of bad stuff in there. But it's a good listen. It's a fucked up fucking story. But anyways, we're gonna hear from Ryno. Ryno's gonna just give us a walk through his life.
Yes. And apologies in advance. I'm a bit froggy because I have COVID-19 or some shit. That's why I have my monkey mug filled with brandy.
Is it just brandy?
No, I got hot toddies, bro.
Oh, nice. That's what I do when I'm sick.
I got my motherfucking lemon. I got the whole setup over here. Yeah, dude, you do a little lemon, some herbal cold care, elderflower spice.
Lemon gives me like really bad heartburn.
Does it?
I like to do like chamomile tea with a splash of honey and a splash of JMO.
Oh, I did forget the honey.
The honey, so good. I love honey.
Yeah.
I eat a tablespoon of honey every single morning.
Really?
Yeah, because ever since I started doing that, I don't have allergies like I used to do. So.
Oh, dude, yeah, it's wicked good for allergies. My wife does beekeeping, or she did, and she just that raw honey, non-filtered with all that shit in it. Like, she went from city girl, like, you know, like if a cat walked into a room, she'd like. Yeah. Now she's like,
I get all the honey I get is like local honey from farm stands, and it's like, if you like put it in the pantry, and like on these cold winter days, you'll grab it and it'll just be solid.
Yeah, it'll crystallize. Yeah.
Yeah, it just like gets like hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's got to be like in a warm spot.
You can warm it back up and it'll get back to like.
Yeah. It's so good.
That's the important point too, like local honey, because then it has all the local allergens and shit in it. You know.
Yeah, don't go to Market Basket like and just buy some or something. Honey, it's like
we don't have. Yeah. Yeah, go to your local farmer's market or whatever, get some local honey, and that'll help with your allergies. Take a teaspoon a day.
Farmer's market's dope too.
Oh yeah, it's like my second favorite thing beyond after like motorcycle swap meets is farmer's markets. Get fucking like crocheted signs and barbecue sauces and shit. Which speaking of barbecue sauces, dude. Oh, well, sauces. The shits, the garden shit. I got some of the garden shit, and I got some more of the shits from Jean-Luc. He came up, and that's changed my life. I didn't know how much I was missing it until I got it back in my life. So good. So, anyways, where to start? Just a little taste. I get that E&J, that XO, the fancy shit. Yeah, so I was born in New Hampshire. I should have listened to your episode because I don't remember what the format was really, but
I was just pretty much like
yeah. So my parents grew up in New Hampshire in the Manchester area, which is the Queen City, the biggest city in New Hampshire. My mom came from a big family. My dad came from a small family. So in the early 80s, I was like a little tadpole looking thing, and I was swimming around my dad's balls. And one night he got to like fucking my mom, and
Fuck.
he semened in her vagina, and I guess it took because 9 months later, little Ryno popped out. Uh, I was the second child. I have two brothers. I have an older brother that is like a year older than me, and as soon as my mom, I guess, felt that she was okay to have sex again, she immediately had another kid. So we're really close in age. And then my younger brother's like 3 years younger. But we started off my my mom was working. They got married really young, like teens, I think. And she was just working as a waitress in Manchester, and my dad was working uh, as a hospital stock boy or whatever. He worked in the basement of the hospital, Concord Hospital, and he also worked at the state of New Hampshire printing. So he worked two jobs, and my mom worked one job when she had us, and we lived in Manchester in what I don't know what they call it now. It used to be called the Zone, which is like if you go off Elm Street, like a couple roads back, all those shitty apartments. Um, and I lived there with my brother, and then for a couple of years, and then they had my little brother, and we ended up moving to a trailer park on Fisherville Road in Concord, across from up by the state prison. It's a real nice area. And again, when my mother she had my little brother, she went back to work. So both my parents worked two jobs, and we were farmed out to, you know, whoever would watch us. A little fuzzy back then, but I remember there was like these two fat girls that watched us, and they were like so disinterested in children. Um, I just spent all day, dude. They were mean too. Like they would watch Dirty Dancing, and we'd have like peanut butter and fluff. That was like it. It was like they watched Dirty Dancing. We walked around. They had like a yard that had like chain link fence around it, and I remember there being a bunch of like beat up old cars and shit in this like dirt driveway. And yeah, they used to just like I wouldn't see them all day. They'd be inside like watching Dirty Dancing like over and over and over again. And then the kids, they babysit like us, me and my brothers, and like a couple other kids, and we are just like outside like fucking bored as fuck. And yeah, we did that for a while. Um my dad is from a little town called Dunbarton, and my grandmother, my grandfather died before I was born, before my older brother was born. He had like a massive heart attack when he was like fucking 40 something and died. But she lives in this wicked old house, like from the 17th century or 1700s. It's like a historical site, and they have like hundreds of acres of land he left her. And she gave a plot of land to each one of her sons. So she has three sons, and we all lived together. Like it's my grandmother's house, my uncle's house, and my other uncle lived with her to take care of her. So when I was like 4, we moved out of the trailer park, and we moved into my family built a home. So like all my uncles and my grandfather was like an electrician and shit, and they came over and they like built a little ranch out in Dunbarton. But actually, I have a funny before we get away from the trailer park, I have a funny story about motorcycles. So I was like 3 years old, and I forget exactly what happened. There was like a German Shepherd that lived on the other side of the fence from us, and I remember like I kicked my ball over there, and it was like my favorite ball. I went over there, and the German Shepherd like immediately popped it, and I got wicked pissed and sad, and I ran off crying, and I ran past my house, my trailer, down the road, and I was just 3-year-old kid, unsupervised, running down Fisherville Road. Is a pretty busy road in Concord, and some biker dude picked me up. He's like, "What are you doing?"
Really?
Yeah, dude. Like I was just a 3-year-old crying like on this busy road by myself. And I don't even know where, like, I don't know where my parents were. Like, I'm assuming my mom was inside, but I don't even know. And he picked me up and he brought me home on his motorcycle.
On a
And
motorcycle?
on the motorcycle, yeah.
That's
He like
sick.
showed up. Like, I don't know how he even knew where I lived or anything. Like, I don't know. I don't remember exactly what happened, but yeah, he put me on his motorcycle and he rode me back to the trailer park and he was like, "You should keep an eye on this one."
Yeah.
So so anyways, we moved to Dunbarton, which is like a really small town. There's no, the only traffic light in it is a blinking yellow light even to this day. And
Damn.
yeah, dude. There was one gas station. It was a country store. So we're hashtag bring country stores back, make country stores great again. It was that kind of place where they had like the counter, they had the steamed hot dogs, they had just like, it was like an old building. It was like really shitty, and their gas pumps had like those dials on it, you know. Um, but that was the only business in that town. There was no other business in the town. It was just residential, and Dunbarton's really nice. So I went to school there. Um, I think I had like maybe 15 kids in my class, like growing up. It's like it's like preschool through like sixth grade, and yeah, we just loved it out there. We're like really outdoorsy. Well, back in the day too, it was like, I guess I was born. I guess I'm what you consider an early millennial, and my parents are boomers, like late boomers. So at that time, they wanted nothing to do with children. You know what I mean? Like they didn't like play with me. Like I never played with them. You know, they were just like, as soon as we got out, my mom would be like, "Get the fuck outside, you rowdy boys," and we'd just be off in the woods. You know, and we just played outside all in the woods, even rain or shine or fucking sleet, whatever, snow. Like we're always just outside. This town never had cable or anything, so like even to this day, you can't get cable there because there's like a telephone company, like a Dunbarton telephone company. They own all the infrastructure, and they never allowed cable to run. So like I never
Damn.
had. Yeah, dude. I never really watched a lot of TV because it all sucked. It was like we had an antenna on the roof, so you get like PBS, like ABC, NBC, like those things. But yeah, no Nick at Night, none of the fun stuff, dude. Um, yeah, just so we're just outside all the time because you can only watch so much Maury Povich in the summer before you're just like, all right, this is lame. Let's get outside and do some shit. Um, so yeah, I went to elementary school. It was awesome. I learned like, I mean, it was a small class. You had one teacher. Just like it was I can't say enough about that school. Just really gave me all the education I ever needed. But in seventh grade, you go to Goffstown, and all the surrounding towns go there. So like Goffstown obviously goes there, but also like the small towns like Dunbarton, New Boston, they all go to this place. And what a culture shock that was. It was like, dude, there's like people from broken home. Like, dude, we grew up in like the suburbs. I mean, like in the country, not the suburbs. Like everybody knew everybody. You know what I mean? Like everybody's parents were together. You know, like it was really nice. Then you go into this other school, and it was like there's kids acting out in school and fucking. I was like, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is going on? And there were so many kids. And that's where I started to become a little bit more delinquent because I met these kids, you know, they're from the city. They don't have any fucking parental supervision. They're like, you know, it starts off like selling me fireworks and like doing that type of shit. And then like, then it's like, oh, I can get some weed, you know, like it wasn't like a city. So that kind of stuff was like kind of hard to come by. But yeah, seventh, eighth grade, I fucked off a lot, got into a lot of trouble. I was always in the principal's office. I was always getting kicked off the bus. I was just it was really uninteresting to me to be in class. Like I wasn't learning anything new. Uh and I liked hanging out with like the rebellious kids, you know. So I made some friends that were into, you know, selling paraphernalia and contraband, and I was like, yeah, these guys are my people. And then I went to like the shittiest high school. Um, at the time, it was called Suicide High because like there was a bunch of kids that killed themselves. I actually went to school with my brother went to school with one of the kids whose sister shot herself with a shotgun in the head. And then one of my good friends, he had like a surrogate brother that was like living with him, blow his head up with dynamite.
Jesus.
Yeah, to commit suicide. So we were known as like Suicide High, and it was a fucking shithole. They had like asbestos tiles. Like when it would rain, they would get soaked and like fucking fall in the classroom and shit. It was just a shithole. And so like early on, like freshman year, I was like, dude, fuck this place. Like there's no. I just like was really uninterested in school, and I just wanted to like do fucking. I just wanted to hang out and fucking do other shit. So basically, just skipped a lot of school, doing dumb shit. Um, Nothing too serious until I was like, I started to. I was smoking a lot of weed and hanging out with like the hippie kids, and like that was pretty cool. But then I really gravitated toward the like the thuggier kids, the kids that were like getting into getting into some shit, listen to hip hop and all that. And I also, since me and my older brother were so close, I hung out with a lot of his friends in the older class. So like when me and my brother were growing up, we were like twins. We were like tight. And my older brother is a fucking asshole and a shit talker. Like me, I'm chill as fuck and I'm like easygoing and stuff, but he is not like that. And all his friends weren't like that. And we got into, we'd go out and party and shit. And in New Hampshire, you got to remember, like, there is nothing to do as a young man in New Hampshire if you don't do outdoor activities. Like, if you're not super into hunting or fishing or any of that shit, if you're just like a street rat, like fucking hanging out, like, where's the party? It's just like there's nothing to do. Everybody's just like so angry. they like I remember everybody just being like, I can't wait to get the fuck out of here and like move to Florida, like this place fucking sucks. And at the time I was the same way. I was like, yeah, it's fucking boring, dude. I don't know what to expect. I'm like 15 years old. I don't know what the fuck life is about yet. But um yeah, we used to just, typical high school, lots of keg parties and shit like that. But like in New Hampshire, you drive out to the woods. Like there was no house parties. Like you go out into the woods and you take your fucking trucks and you go out and there'd be a huge bonfire and there'd be kegs and shit and it's like $5 a cup.
Pit
And
parties.
Oh yeah, dude.
Dude, pit parties are the shit.
Yeah. They get fucking nasty though, because like the chicks that are there, like all the dudes like want the chicks to come there, and then all the chicks are like, yeah, standing out in the freezing cold in front of a fucking fire kind of sucks. We're going home. So then you have all these dudes that are just like so fucked up, just doing like keg stands and drinking what the fuck ever. And dude, there'd be fights every weekend. Like you just go out to the woods, all the girls leave, everybody's sexually frustrated and just beat the shit out of each other. I remember one time, my buddy, he got like he was like he wasn't like he was kind of nerdy, but like me and him were boys, and I brought him to this keg party, and he was being like an annoying drunk, and someone threw a fucking full keg at him, and he disappeared into the darkness, and I was like, yeah, um, yeah, lots of broken bones and shit out in those woods. Like I remember getting like cars stuck down there because you're a kid and you're just like, dude, I think I brought like my what the fuck did I have? I had like a sports car, like a Chevelle or some shit. Brought it down a trail in the mud and shit, and obviously got it stuck. But yeah, just lots of partying and fighting and being angry all throughout high school. But I made some really really good friends. One of my a mutual friend of me and my brother's, we'll just call him the Shmee. But he was something else. He was the biggest shit talk. He was really small too. So he was like, he reminds me of like fucking Joe Pesci from Goodfellas. You know what I mean? Like this kid was like, he was like 5'4", but he had the biggest fucking mouth, dude, and he didn't give a fuck. And he was like our best friend, you know. And we would, you know, we were always beefing with someone, always fighting with someone, and dude, get to the point like it's not even like party time yet, and we were driving down the main road, and like motherfuckers would jump out of their car with their shirts off and shit, and it was just like that, like every day. It was you know, we didn't give a fuck though, you know. It's just like, oh, we're always beefing with someone, you know, because it's either my brother did something fucked up to someone, or you know, Shawnee D did something fucked up to someone, or fuck someone's girl, or fucking whatever the fuck it was. But yeah, we hung out, got fucked up, did cool shit, and my boy Shawnee, he went to jail for selling fucking, what was it? I think it was acid or something. He went to Valley Street for a long time, a couple years. And then I didn't graduate. I was like 17, so I was like a junior, and I was just like, oh, fuck school, dude, this sucks. And I dropped out, and I started working my first full-time job. Because like before that, I was like, yeah, I was bussing tables or whatever the fuck, some bullshit job for a little kid. But I dropped out at 17. My guidance counselor recommended it. In fact, he was like, you should drop out. Just get the fuck out of here.
So my probation officer told me.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
My probation officer was like, you either drop out or I put you in jail.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, okay, see ya.
Yeah, worst advice I've ever gotten, dude. Like, I couldn't believe it either. I was like, you're the guidance counselor. Shouldn't you be like guiding me? You know? He's just like, you're a lost cause. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I wasn't a very good student. But I was really smart. And like for instance, this guidance counselor, one time I had like a biology test or some shit, and I had like a 20% in the class or something wicked low because I didn't do any of the homework. I didn't fucking attend. I missed a ton of school, and then I came in for, I think it was, what are those called, like midterms or some shit, like one of those big tests, and I got like 100% on it. So they sat me down. They were like, "You cheated on this test," and I was like, "No, I didn't." And they're like, they wouldn't accept that. They're like, "Dude, you got like 20%. You got 100 on a test. You're never in school." And I'm like, "Dude, it's like about dolphins biology, some shit, you know? Like it ain't hard." So they're like, "All right, we'll take it again, and we'll watch you this time." And I was like, "All right, let's go, buddy." And I got 110 because there was a bonus question or some shit. And then I was just like, that's really, after I talked to my guidance counselor, after that, he was like, you should drop out of school. And I was like, all right. So I did, and I started working at Big Lots. You know, Big Lots?
Oh, yeah.
It's like, how do you describe what Big Lots is? It's like a scummy Walmart, only way smaller, and
it was
always
before Walmart, I feel like.
real. Yeah, it's been around for a while.
That was like the go-to spot for like everything. It's like a small Walmart.
Oh, like a Dollar General.
They have a lot more like furniture though.
Yeah,
like,
they
you
have.
can go buy a whole ass couch.
You get a couch and beds and all that shit.
Yeah, you can buy a whole outdoor fucking pergola for around your fire pit.
Yeah, so that's why I say more like it's less. It's kind of like a Dollar General and a Walmart had a baby, you know, because they have all that other stuff. So, anyways, I started working my first full-time job, like 40 hours a week, stocking shelves at this fucking Big Lots, and I wasn't prepared for that because I was just like, I was a lazy motherfucker, dude. Like back when I was a teenager, I did not have any hustle. Like I used to fuck off all the time at jobs and shit, you know, like, well, I say like fuck off, but compared to today's kids, like when you go to, like when I used to bag groceries, I used to like bag the motherfucking groceries, but then I would like take, like, I just like disappear and go like smoke blunts or whatever, and then like come back an hour later, and then like they'd be like, where were you? And I was like, oh, I'm shagging carts or whatever. But so what happened on my first day, they were like, hey, the building got struck by lightning, so the time card machine doesn't work. So it's just like honesty. It's just like honesty is the best policy. It's the honor system. And I was like, sweet. So I worked like that first day, like from like 8 till fucking 5 or whatever. And I was like, dude, people do this every day. Like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, dude, it's so fucking boring every day. So what I started doing was I was just coming in late. I'd come in like 2 hours late, and I just write on my time card that I came in at 8. And then I'd clock out at like 3. I'd write that I left at 5. Honor system. I'm not a very honorable guy, I guess, at
There
that
wasn't
time.
like a manager that was like, "Where is this motherfucker?"
Well, just think of like the caliber of manager at a Big Lots. You know what I mean? Like, it's not society's best and brightest, you know, like middle management at a fucking Big Lots in a strip mall. So, and like, you got to kind of prove it, you know? So, but what happened was I was doing that for like weeks, dude. And one time I came in, it was like, dude, it was like 10:30. And my boss was like, hey, where were you? We've been paging you all morning. And I was like, I was out back. And he was like, no, you weren't out back. We were paging you over the intercom, over the overhead for the last 2 hours. Where the fuck were you? And I was like, I don't know what to tell you. I didn't hear it. I was in the back. And then they got the clock fixed. And I was like, all right, I'm going to go back to school. Because this fucking sucks.
So did you go back to school?
Yeah, I went back to school.
Like
And
school or like a night
yeah,
program?
I went back to the same school. I went back to GHS, and um, I took classes, and I took correspondence courses because I was like behind. So correspondence, they'll mail you packets, and you like catch up on your credits. And so I caught up, and it was like, I think it was like May of my senior year, and I had this fucking art teacher, Mrs. Lane. I'll never forget her because she was like morbidly obese. Shaved head, like she makes all her own jewelry, and she must have weighed like 400 pounds. Like, she would sit in a chair and the chair would just disappear. Like, it was a magic trick. Um, and I was really into art, like all growing up. Like, I wanted to be like a cartoonist or an animator or whatever when I grew up. I drew all the time. Loved art. It was my favorite class. And she failed me for her fucking art class because she gave me a 0 for this. We did some sort of statewide competition where you do like a logo for a fictional business, and it was on display in like the Bedford Mall and shit. Like, it was like a kind of a big deal. She gave me a 0 for that because she said she didn't have it, and I was like, yeah, but it's in I went to this thing. It was in that competition and shit. And so I was like a half a credit shy from graduating, and I failed an art class, which I always excelled in. You know what I mean? So it's just some bullshit. So I said, fuck this, and I left. I never went back to school. So just like half credit shy from graduating, just like on principle, I was like, fuck this. Yeah. And then that really bothered me for a long time, not graduating, you know, because like after that, like everybody's going to like college and doing all that shit. I wasn't doing shit, dude. I wasn't joining the military. I wasn't fucking going to college. I was just a fucking loser. But yeah, I was like, all right, now it's time to get the fuck out of Dodge. And my boy, he got out of jail, and he wanted to move down to Florida, to Hollywood, Florida. And I guess his mom lived there. So he was like, let's go down and visit, and if you like it, we can fucking set up shop. So me and him went down there, and dude, it was probably the craziest vacation I've ever been on.
Hollywood, Florida. Sick.
Dude, it's a fucking mental asylum down there. Dude, like
Went
Hollywood,
down. I
Florida is
went down there
fucking
for
nuts.
work. Went down
Yeah.
there for work with my dad. We were doing construction, and I was like 14, dude. I had the time of my life.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. It
That
was
place is sick.
fucking nuts. Yeah. So
It's like the same thing as like Miami or Daytona. Like it's a like all
yeah.
that's the furthest right. That's deep into Florida.
Yeah, it's pretty close. I want to say it's close to Tampa or Miami. I think it's close to Tampa because when we were down
like
there, we went to
deep.
Ybor City. Yeah. So it's pretty deep down there. But she lived in like a big apartment complex. Now this guy he was nuts. He had a twin sister too, who was dating my brother for a long time. But um his mom was fucking nuts. Like he was nuts, but because his mom was on a different planet nuts, dude. She was fucking crazy. And she was mean, you know. She was like she was just like out of control all the time. Um, you know, pills, drinking, all that shit. But she was like a MILF. She was like really hot. And she always used to date like young scumbags and fucking she didn't give a fuck what we did. So we went down there and we visited her. And like she took us out to the club. And at the time, you know, I'm like 18 or something at the time. And she brings us to this club and starts buying us drinks, you know, like fucking vodka, whatever's, you know, like little kids. We're at a club. It's like an 18 plus club. And I guess I wasn't hiding it very well or whatever. This fucking bouncer, who's like, I just imagine the stereotypical bouncer, like huge motherfucking guy, bald head, like picked me up by my neck, dude. Walked me like 50 feet across the whole club. Like, dude, the whole time, like I'm elevated, feet are not on the ground. He has me by my neck. Like one hand, he didn't even need two hands. He just picked me up. He walked and he fucking threw me through the doors, one handed, just like, and he's like, and stay out. But that wasn't even the craziest thing that happened. After that, we went to, my boy he used to play football down there. Like, I think he was like when he was really young, he played like pee wee football down there. And he had a bunch of friends in the area. So we're like, oh, cool. They got like nice house. Dude, the houses down there, like super nice. Like this dude had like, he had like cows and shit in his backyard. They're big with cows down there. Like, Ocala area and all that shit. Anyways, so we went to this party down there and he managed to burn every motherfucking bridge, dude. At some point, like, it was like a cool night. Like there was tons of cool people. We're in fucking Hollywood, Florida. We're drinking. We're having a good time. And then out of nowhere, I hear this guy go, I don't appreciate you trying to hit me over the head with that bottle. Turn around. This dude, my boy has his fucking a vodka bottle, like full, like, and just ping. And then it was just on. Dude, there's like 15 dudes on two of us. We got the shit beaten out of us. The guy that owned the house had to be like, get in my car. Like we ran to the car. Like these kids were going to kill us. We got the shit beaten out of us for no reason. I don't even know why. But anyways, we went back home. I'm not even going to mention that we went back that night and we played chess with a guy with a snake around, like a fucking boa constrictor around his neck, like feeding us whiskey. It was a fucking crazy night. But we went back to New Hampshire and I was like, I'm definitely moving down to Florida. Yeah, because that was fun as fuck. And I talked to my brother, and I had a cousin that lived in Gainesville, Florida. And my brother went down to visit him, and he was like, "You got to go to Gainesville." And I was like, "I'm going to Hollywood." And he's like, "Dude, we got to go to I'm moving to Gainesville, so you got to come with me," you know. Uh, and then I talked to my boy Sean, and I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna move with my brother. You know, like we've been together for our whole lives. You know, he's my brother." So he's like, "All right, well, it's Florida." Like at the time, I feel like every young New Hampshire man had like a young boy had a vision of like, it's gonna be better in Florida. You know, there's sunny beaches, there's bitches in fucking bikinis, but wasn't very good at geography. And still am not, but Gainesville is a fucking swamp. It's not by the beach. It's not like fucking Miami. It is north central Florida, and it is
like
hot as a
Georgia.
mother. Oh, dude, it's the swamp. That's what they call the fucking football team, the stadium down there. It's right next to what is it? University of Florida, the Gators. So we got an apartment, and it was like super cheap. It was like $300 a month or something like that.
Damn.
Yeah, and we moved down there. It was like, dude, there was like 8 of us that moved down there all together. So I was sharing a room with I I was gonna share I was gonna bunk up with my brother, but my boy Sean was like, I ain't fucking living with this other guy. So I was like, oh, fuck it. I'll live with that guy and you live with my brother, whatever. We're all in the same place. So my roommate at the time, he was a piece of shit. He moved out. We all moved down there, and he didn't ever get a job. He just didn't work. So he didn't last very long, dude. I got down there, and probably within a day, I was busting tables at the nearest restaurant. You know. Oh, I didn't have my license either. So this is another thing I kind of grazed over. But before I left, um, I got into a drunken car crash, and I lost my license indefinitely. So that was another reason I had to get out of Dunbarton, because I need to move somewhere where I could like work and walk around and shit. You know what I mean? Um, so yeah, I was that was a wild night too. Actually, it's a good story. I So we were out partying and shit, and we're like at this person's house, and we're having a good time. We're paying Beirut. We're fucking drinking vodka and shit. We're doing Jello shots. We're having a good time. And uh, I was like the designated driver, so I would do this from time. I'd be like, "Oh yeah, I'm the designated driver," and I wouldn't give a fuck, dude. I just drink and do whatever. So it's actually getting a DWI saved my life, because if I didn't get that DWI, I'd definitely be dead, because I used to drink and drive all the time. Um, like not like I joke about it now, like drinking and driving. I'm talking about having a pop on the way. Like I don't think that's a big deal, but like drunk driving all the time, like where it's like 3 a.m. and you have to cover up one eye to like fucking stay in between the lanes, you know. Um, so yeah, we went to this party, and we're like drinking and shit, and this girl had a breathalyzer, and she was like, this is my place, and if you guys want to leave, you have to blow in the breathalyzer or whatever. And she gave us the breathalyzer, and we failed, and we're like, okay, well, we'll just hang out here or whatever. And then like we're like smoking butts or whatever, and we're like, let's get the fuck out of here, this place is gay. So I'll hop in my car, and I'm drinking and driving, but I need glasses, like, or contacts. I usually wear contacts, but at the time I only had glasses, but glasses make you look like a fucking nerd. So I was like, I chucked them in the back and I didn't wear them. So it was like nighttime, wicked shitty night vision, drinking. It was me, my brother, my cousin, and my best friend Steve. And we're driving. I blew this stop sign. It was right on Fisherville Road, by the way, where I grew up, right across from where that trailer park was, where I grew up. Blew a stop sign, got T-boned by a fucking pickup truck, and it hit me, and I just like skidded across. Like it pushed me over, but I like went across the intersection. So we're all sitting there, dome lights on, fucking nobody has seatbelts on. There's just like the door is crushed all the fuck. And I'm like, we running, boys. Because I'm not getting, what do you want to go to jail, or you want to take a chance? So we head across town. Like, dude, everybody's freaking out. My boy put his like hat over the fucking dome light. The door, dude, it's January too, by the way. So no window. It's fucking freezing. And we go across town to this other hotel party. And we're like, all right, we got there. It was like at a Best Western. And we're like, all right, chill. We're just going to hang out. We'll fucking deal with this shit tomorrow morning. We'll crash on the floor and we'll be good to go. Sober up before we drive this piece of shit home. So we're at this hotel party, and it was a party for this guy that just got released from prison. So he's still in his fucking orange shirt, like his prison shirt. And everybody's getting fucked up. And my brother was like we're there for a while, like we're talking about the car crash and all that shit. My brother walks by this guy, and he like steps on this dude's foot, and he's like, hey, you just stepped on my foot. My brother goes, oh, fuck you. So the dude pulls out a knife, and like everybody like tackles him. I grab my brother. I go, let's get the fuck out of here, dude. Throw him in the car, blacked out drunk, by the way. So he's at this point, he's just blacked out. And we're riding home, and he's screaming at me. He's like, dude, I need cigarettes. I need cigarettes. I need butts. I need butts. So we stopped at a store 24, like right up the road. And I was like, be quick, because my fucking shit's all smashed to hell, and we're still in the same city that we just did this, stupid shit, So he goes inside, and I'm sitting in the car, and I can see in the window he's taking fucking sandwiches like, you know, gas station, like hoagies, like fucking subs, dude, and stuffing them just blatantly in his pockets. Dude, he had like a chicken parm in his pocket, like sticking out. And like, dude, like, he just blacked out. And I was like, dude, what the fuck? So as I'm watching him just blatantly steal from this fucking place, I'm like, oh my God, we're definitely getting pinched, you know? Two cop cruisers pull up behind us. And they're like, what happened to your car? And I'm just like doing my best. I'm like, that happened a while ago. And he's like, oh, you're driving it around like that. It's like, you know, it's like 3 a.m, 4 a.m in fucking January, no window. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's definitely what happened. So he brings me around back. My brother comes out of the store, and he just pulls out one of the chicken parm. I remember the chicken parm, just cold, you know, just like opens up the wrapper, and he sits in the driver's seat of my car while these cops are like fucking talking to me and shit. And he's just like, you know, mowing on this thing. And one of the other cop goes over to him, and he's like, what's your name? And he's like, fuck you. What's your social security number? Fuck you. Just eat, dude. Well, not stopping eating, you know, fucking food flying out of his mouth. And yeah, he was on probation at the time for some other shit. So anyways, I'm talking to this cop. My brother's in the passenger, in the driver's seat, eating this fucking cold chicken parm sub. And I look over at him, and he fucking pushes the cop on the ground and takes off running down the street, dude.
Oh my God.
Yeah, dude. Pushes the cop on the ground, starts running down the fucking street. And then he hits the curb, and he fucking is so drunk he just falls. And then both cops took off after him, went over, beat the shit out of him, picked him up, cuffed him, and they're walking back. And I'm still trying to play it cool. I'm like, what's going on here? You know, they immediately, boom, slam me, put me into the fucking, you know, and off to jail we went. And then, yeah, I got super fucked for that. They suspended my, because it was DWI, leaving the scene of an accident, fucking a bunch of other little shit they peppered in there. I didn't have any money for a lawyer. In fact, my mom didn't even fucking like come to the court thing. She was like, you're a man, dude. I was 17 at the time. But my court date, I had just turned fucking 18. And I went in there by myself, and they just fucking fucked me. So I was like, anyways, I gotta get somewhere where, like, far away from all this bullshit. Because at that point, it was like, dude, it was like fighting all the time, and fucking, it just wasn't fun. And I was like, I want some palm trees, and I want to chill the fuck out. So we moved down to Gainesville. My roommate was a piece of shit. He never had a job, and all we did was party. So my meager salary of fucking bussing tables, it was like, you know, as soon as I got down there, like, I had to bus, like, that's how I ate food. Like, you get so little money for busing, you know what I mean? Like, and dish dogging. So like, I would dish dog during part of it, and then like I did like a double shift. But that's where I ate all my food, just Mexican food. All, you know, that's what saved my life. Because after paying rent, dude, on a busboy salary, I ain't got fucking money. And we used to, you know, you only have enough to like get fucked up, like on the cheap. So we used to drink. They didn't have 40s in Florida; it was illegal. So they had 32 ounces of malt liquor. We used to buy Mickey's 12 for 12, whole case at a time. We'd all pool our money in. $12 for 12 32 ounces of malt liquor. And I remember I didn't have any furniture or anything. This place wasn't furnished. Like, it was just, I think I had a mattress on the floor that I had brought or something. But I didn't have anything else. And in my living room, we had 2 stolen shopping carts with with a door on top that we took off like the closet or something so we could play Beirut on it. And we're playing Beirut, and my roommate was getting fucking out of control. You know, he was just being like a fucking drunk fuck. And one of our other friends didn't like it, and he's standing next to him, and he just gives him one punch, boom, right in the side. He hit his spleen. And at the same time, he like punched him and like kicked his foot out. So he smashed our sliding glass door with his foot, and he punched my roommate in the spleen. And at first we're like, oh, what the fuck, dude? So we wake up the next morning. I call like the landlord. I'm like, yeah, someone threw a rock through our window. And he was like, interesting. Because it was very loud over there last night. But my roommate went out looking for fucking work because I woke up in the morning and I was like, dude, you gotta get a job. What are you doing? Like, I can't afford this on bussing tables, bro. So he went out looking for a job and I had the day off. So we're just chilling in the pool. He comes back like toward the end of the day. He sees us in the pool. He's on foot. You know, he didn't have a car or anything either. And he just collapses into the pool. So we bring him to the hospital, dude. And he had his spleen had ruptured from the punch. One punch.
Oh.
Yeah, dude. So after that happened, he was like, well, he was in the hospital for like a week. And it's funny because my cousin, he was down there. He went into the hospital. Like, he didn't even know this dude went to the hospital. He went to the hospital for his appendix. Was going to be ruptured. And then they met each other in the hospital. Like, what the fuck? So anyways, crazy shit. But then I didn't have a roommate. And I was like, oh, fuck, I'm not going to be able to afford this place. So I couldn't pay. I just kind of like...
not all in the same apartment?
No, dude. So we had like... There was like 8 of us in an apartment project, in a complex called the French Quarter. It's not there anymore.
Oh, I thought you were saying all of you were in the same apartment, just sharing bedrooms.
No, dude. So it was me and my boy Jay, and then next door was my brother and my other friend Sean, and then across the courtyard was my boy PJ and his boy, and then my other friend lived over here. So they called us the Triangle of Terror because they're like, every time there's a problem, it's like in this triangle, you know, like it's coming from one of these apartments or something in between. And dude, we were fucking rowdy, you know, because like we're New Englanders, you know what I mean? And we're in like fucking paradise, you know. There's like, we have a
just
pool.
Loud anyways.
Oh yeah. And it doesn't matter if it's a Monday. We didn't have any prospects. We weren't students. None of us graduated, you know, like we just had nothing to lose. And we were just, all it was just like party. Dude, we would walk up to fucking parties that like college kids were having, and we'd walk in and we'd be like, oh my God, hey, how's it going? And just fucking go right to the keg and just be like, start pumping the keg for people. And like, dude, we'd like run the fucking shit. But yeah, that was a good time. But yeah, we had a lot of fun in Florida. Florida is awesome. But it got to a point where like, so anyways, I got evicted, right? And they had in between the apartments was like a fire escape. So in the hallway, there was like a door that came down to a set of stairs in between the apartments. And in the middle of the night, we both just opened up our doors up top there, and I moved all my shit into my brother's apartment. And then closed the door and abandoned that one. Even though the landlord sees me, I'm still walking around shit. I'm like, no, I don't live there anymore. You know, I got evicted, you know, but he couldn't really do anything about it. And then my cousin got evicted and he did the same thing. And he moved in with my brother. My brother was the only one that could like pay rent. You know what I mean? And then my other cousin got evicted and we all just lived in the same apartment eventually. In between like 4 of us, we could barely make $300 a month. Yeah. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. Got to see, you know, got to obviously go all around Florida. Met a lot of people from Florida that, you know, I still keep in touch with even till this day. But I really got sick of the hot weather. Like, dude, it's hot. Like when I first moved down there, some Florida boy from like Winter Park was like, when you move down here, you got to learn how to sweat. Because I'm like, dude, you go out to, you like get showered, you're like, oh, I'm all fresh. And then you step outside and you're just like wet, you know, sopping wet. It's so fucking humid in the swamp. But yeah, I kind of got sick of fucking around. And I was like, I kind of miss New Hampshire. Actually, I was watching, this is so gay. There was a show called Providence. And it was like I don't even know. I think it was like a lawyer show or something about a lawyer firm in like Providence, Rhode Island, and they had like pea coats on, and there was like snow in the back. And I was like, oh fuck, I miss that shit. So I was like, I'm moving back to New Hampshire. So I moved back to New Hampshire. Uh, and at this point, like,
Did your brother and all your boys come with you?
just me and my brother. Yeah, we went back. My boy that whose spleen was split, he moved back way long ago. My other people, they stayed down there. They ended up moving down to the Keys, like the Florida Keys, like way down there, and like living it up down there. But me and my brother were like, fuck it, let's go back. But it sucked. You know, we came back and it was like, oh, you link up with the same old scumbags. They're doing the same old fucking shit, only worse. Dude, half of them are fucking in jail or dead, either suicide or fucking oxys, you know? And I was like, at that point, I was like, I think I'm going to. I came back and I got my license back because this was years later. I think I was like, I mean, they suspended it indefinitely. So when I came back to New Hampshire, I was like, I had to go see like a psychiatrist and shit to like earn it back. And he was like, yeah, I think you're good now. So I got my license back and I got my GED because I was like, oh, I don't even have that. So I got a GED, I got my license back, and I was feeling pretty good about myself. And I was like, I'm gonna go back to school. And at the time, I really wanted to do movies, and I wanted to go to film school because I've always been like super into movies, and I've written some scripts, and I got super into actually making like independent films and stuff like that. So pretty handy with a camcorder and editing software and things like that. So I started doing online classes at the Art Institute in like San Francisco or something. And my plan was I was going to move out to San Francisco and go to art school. But then my other friend, my good friend, who actually was in that fateful car crash, he moved out with his wife at the time to Scottsdale, Arizona. And he was like, dude, it's fucking awesome out here. And I hadn't seen him because he came and visited in Florida and shit. But like we've been friends since preschool. Like we've been friends since preschool. We're friends all through all schooling into our adult life. And so we were super tight. And he was like, dude, it's sick out here. He moved out there while I was down in Florida because his wife wanted to. She turned out to be a cunt and they got a divorce. But I moved out there just like wild hair up my ass. I was like, oh, fuck it. I have nothing going on anyways. I got my license back at least. You know what I mean? So I lived out there in Phoenix. I found an apartment that was fully furnished with cable for under $400. It was
Fuck.
$399. Yeah, it was $399. It had utensils, dude. It had plates and cups and shit, and I didn't have anything. So it was a studio. And what I found was it was like a retirement community or something. I was like the youngest guy there. It was all just like old people, and they come and winter over there or whatever. But it was sick. It had a hot tub. It had a fucking dude $399. I got a job at Sears up the road. I just started walking to work. You know what I mean? And that was sick. I got my first scooter. Oh, my second scooter. I had a scooter I was riding in fucking Florida illegally. It was a 40. I figured, yeah, like one of those 50cc ones. And I was like, oh yeah, I don't have a license, but you don't need one for these. So I'm driving this thing around. Definitely need a license for one of those to and register it and shit. But yeah, I was hanging out in fucking Arizona for a while. Made, again, no direction to my life. Just work shitty jobs, drink and party, and do whatever. And I was out there for like 3-4 years, and I was like, all right, well, what else? I really got sick of the heat out there too, because I think in the years that I lived out there, I can count on one hand how many times it rained. Like it was just always hot all the time. And if you're not inside, it's not fucking comfortable, And I like being outdoors. And I just got sick of it. And I was like, I like New England. I miss that shit, Like once you're away from it for a while, you're like, I miss it. So you come back. Yeah, and then I came back to New England, and me and my brother got an apartment and just continued working bullshit jobs and partying and drinking and shit. Really no direction or any, no school, no nothing. And I went to my friend Sean, the dude that I went to Hollywood, Florida with, the dude that fucking went to jail and shit. He was invited to this wedding and he didn't want to go alone and he didn't have a chick or whatever. So he was like, can I bring you as my plus one and we'll just fucking hang out? And I was like, yeah, sick. I don't give a fuck. So I went to this wedding and I ended up meeting my wife. The person whose wedding it was my wife's like college roommate or something. So we hooked up at that wedding and yeah, we were like, got pretty serious pretty quickly. And I ended up moving in with her in Boston. So I picked up and moved down to Boston. Again, no real, at this point, I decided to get an actual real job for the first time. So, I abandoned all my my hopes and dreams of becoming a fucking like, director or whatever and going to art school and all that bullshit. And I was just like, I should just get like a real fucking salary job. And my brother had started out at this little company, just in the stock room. It was called SDC Solutions. And the owner of it, he was just like a gruff old man. And he used to smoke butts and he would just be like if he liked you, he didn't give a fuck what your credentials were. You know what I mean? If he liked you, you could get a job there. And he ended up getting a job there, like stocking shit. And he got promoted. So he was like, hey, you can have this job. It's pretty good and you can work your way up. You make these. It was the first like salary job I ever had. I was like, all right, fuck it. I'll try it out. So I started working at this little tech company. I don't even remember how old I was. I guess mid-20s or some shit. And yeah, I ended up working there for 15 years.
Damn.
Yeah. Yeah, so I worked my way up. I started in the stock room, so just shipping. Like at the time, we were like shipping servers and keyboards and stuff like that, and I would just be in charge of the stock. But I learned about like computers, like being there, and then at a certain point, it was a small company. I think there was like maybe 50 people, maybe less, that worked there. So everybody, and it was a really cool place to work because like the owner, his name was Joe, and he was like super cool and he loved to party and he'd fucking, like he'd bring everybody out for like Chinese food and buy everybody drinks. It was like super cool. So I was like, oh yeah, dude, this fucking rocks. But he ended up, like he wasn't like he got to the point where he was so big that he was just bleeding money and he was like selling off pieces of property and shit to like pay people's salaries and he had to sell it. So he sold it to these like venture capitalists and they were based out of like Minnesota or whatever. And that was after my first year there. But they started running it more like a company. And since I was already there, like I kind of had to earn my stripes. So I was like, oh, well, I'll just, I'm going to be here for fucking 8 hours a day. I might as well make something of myself. You know what I mean? Like I could have just sat in that fucking stock room and like jerked off. But, I was like, I'm going to learn about computer. I didn't know fucking shit. Dude, I didn't own a computer. I didn't know anything about computers. Never went to school. Just kind of learned from other people there and lots of Google. And eventually I went into from there, I went into the support department, and at this point in my life, like when I was a teenager, I was like really shitty at working and I was a real fuck up. But over time, you like learn how to be a good worker and how to hustle. You know what I mean? And like, especially working like in the restaurant industry or anything where you actually have to work or people will call you out. And like my first job was bussing tables at a Mexican restaurant. And dude, I was just like limp wristedly, like putting like slowly like dirty dishes like ew into the fucking dishwasher. And the cook behind the line, he was looking at me and he just making his blood boil, dude. And he finally came out and he was just like, this is how you do it. That's how you fucking, it just reaming me out. And I was just like, instead of being like, oh, fuck you, I was like, actually, he's right. I am a lazy piece of shit. I better fucking hustle. So instead of being a bitch about it, I fucking started hustling. He didn't yell at me anymore. So like over time, like, especially like I did a lot of restaurant jobs like dish jogging, bus boy, line cook, fryer, all that shit. And those are like high paced industries, you know what I mean? Like you got to get motherfuckers their food. It's hot, you're sweaty, you stay up late.
Yo, working in a kitchen is gangster as fuck, dude.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like some shit goes down back there,
Dude,
bro.
and the funnest people, because
Yeah.
you'll be hanging out with fucking 20-year-old chicks and like 50-year-old dudes that were ex-heroin addicts
Yeah.
and stuff. Like you just get like all the different weird people, and you can do it anywhere. You know what I mean? So like if you're moving around from town to town, you can always get a job waitressing or bussing or fucking dish dogging. Like, but it's hard work. But like it's so fun because you hang out with all these people. They're all like super cool, or most of them are, and then you go out and party with them at night, or you like close down the restaurant like that. My first job in Florida there, like they used to like one of the perks was like at the end of the night you get to drink as much as you want. So we'd be like closing up this kitchen, like washing shit down, and we'd just be like getting shit faced. But yeah, where was I? Oh yeah, so yeah, I started working at this place. I was commuting from Boston. So I like when I first started working there, I was living in Concord. So this place was on Hanover Street in Manchester. So like 45-minute ride or whatever. And it's about the same from Boston, without traffic. So I was doing the Boston commute up to this job. And like I said, I was like, if I'm going to be here for fucking 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week plus or whatever, I might as well fucking do a good job and try to get more money, And I did. And I worked my way up. I went into the support department. And then from there, like, we had moved to Rhode Island too. So like we had a small Boston apartment. We lived in the South End, which is not Southie for you non-New Englanders, but the South End is it's like all the brownstones. It's like right south of the Prudential Center. Really sick spot, but dude, so tiny. Like we were paying big bucks. In fact, when we first moved in, we had the basement apartment, dude, and it was like, just imagine like a building that was built in the fucking 1700s that never had any upkeep, and like there's like metal doors and stuff and like no parking. It just fucking really sucked. But then we ended up moving upstairs. Like the people above us got like they moved out, so we went up, and then we had a window, so we had some like sunshine. You know what I mean? So that was nice. But it's fucking expensive, and we had a bunch of dogs. We got like 3 dogs, and we wanted a little bit more room, so we ended up buying a house in Rhode Island, where my wife is from, over in Warwick, over by Oakland Beach. Got a nice little house out there, big yard. But I was commuting up to New Hampshire from Rhode Island. Yeah, every day. So that was rough. That's a 2-hour drive one way. So I did that for I did that for years. And then I was like, hey, honey, I'm going to blow my fucking brains out if I have to do this drive anymore. So like, maybe we should think about moving up to New Hampshire. And at that time I was like, this was a point where I was like a tech, and I was like, I want to be in management. I want to be a manager because I'm way smarter than my boss, and I just have better ideas, and I think I could do his job. So he had like an assistant manager position open up, and I'm like, I'm going to go for it. And I just fucking went for it. And I got it. You know what I mean? Like the best advice career wise that I ever got was, if you want a job, just start doing it. Like if you want a promotion, just start doing that job. So when the decision is made, like who's going to get the job, it's very easy to choose because you're already doing it. This guy's already fucking doing it. So yeah, I ended up getting that job. My manager ended up getting fired because he was so incompetent. And I think I mentioned this on the show before, but I just picked up my laptop and I went and cleared his fucking desk out, and I just started doing his job. And then I got his job, and then I was in management, and I had a team of like 26 techs. And then I worked my way up over the years, and I ended up becoming an associate director about 2 years ago. So I was doing I was doing that. I was making really good money. It was fucking awesome. Cake gig. And at when COVID happened, we all went 100% remote. So I was just working out of my house uh, that we bought here in Henniker. So that was fucking dope. And then they laid me off like a year and a half ago after 15 years because the product that I was working on, they discontinued. And instead of like, even though I'm like a fucking all-star there, you know, like everybody loves me. Uh, what they did was they gave their books to an accounting agency. They didn't even make the decision. They're just like, these people work on this product and this is what everybody makes. And they had an accounting agency fucking go through and they axed half of management and 1/3 of the company in one single day. And I was like, my brother still works there, by the way. And I was like, you're not going to quit out of solidarity, you fucking cocksucker? But yeah, he still works there because he didn't work on the shit that I was working on. But anyways, after 15 years, that was a real hard time. I was like, what the fuck am I going to do? Because again, I'm still a high school dropout. You know what I mean? I got 15 years experience under my belt though, which is nice. And then yeah, I just started applying for jobs. Oh yeah, I breezed over. Probably more importantly, like throughout my career, we moved to New Hampshire. Me and my wife got married. We had a ceremony at our house here in Henniker. And we had a just open invite and super fun banger fucking wedding. And I ended up knocking up my wife on that first night of holy matrimony.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. We weren't really planning. Like, we were both the type that were like, yeah, we'll probably just not have kids. You know what I mean? Like, neither of us were like super like, let's have some kids. But yeah, she got pregnant on, on our wedding night. I mean, I went hard that night, but I still had some in the chamber, I guess. Uh, and yeah, we had our first daughter 9 months later. I named her after me. First, middle, and last name is my name, Ryan James Frost Jr. And we had her at the house, just like we had our wedding at the house. We had a midwife come in, and I helped deliver her. I was the first person to see her face. It was fucking wacky. We actually went through. It was funny because like I'm just like, oh, if I was a chick and I was pregnant, I'd just go to the hospital, just give me an epidural or whatever, so I don't feel anything. Just fucking cut the thing out of me, you know. Give me some drugs afterward. My wife she likes to do life the hard way. She's like, no, I'm gonna get a midwife. I'm gonna do it myself here. And we went to like this weird like hippie dippy thing, like to practice breathing and fucking painting things with pastels, like super weird. But the midwife, yeah, she was awesome. Her name was Sarah. She had two assistants, both named Sarah. And my wife got injured during the birth, and we had to go to the hospital anyways. And the doctor that worked on her was named Sarah, which is fucking weird. Yeah, dude, what the fuck are the chances of all that Sarah? And then we got set up with her pediatrician or whatever, or her doctor. Guess what her name is? Yeah. So yeah, she's 7 now, and that really, you know, again, we just, if you don't already have kids, I just highly recommend them, because when I look at my life, that's really like one of the only milestones I really have, is like there's me, and then like all these years up until I'm whatever age I was when she was fucking born, and then everything after that. And it really just, it changes your perspective of everything. You know what I mean? Like once you have a kid and you're like a dad or a mom or whatever, like you really change as a person. Yeah. And then when she was 2, you know, like I was like, dude, this is hard. Like babies are fucking hard as fuck, dude. And I didn't want it anymore. I was like, she's perfect. Let's just have the one. And then we ended up having another 2. My wife got pregnant again and she was like, "This is different. This is like." She was like, "This is twins. There's like two of them in me," and everybody was like, "Dude, you're fucking crazy." Like whatever. Even the doctors and shit. And we went all the way to the ultrasound, which I don't know how many weeks that was. But the girl doing the ultrasound, she was like, and she looked at my wife, and my wife was like, "Yeah, it's twins, isn't it?" And she was like, "What the fuck?" So I ended up having twin boys, and they're fucking maniacs. They're fraternal twins, as far as I can tell. They're not identical twins, but they were both born what's called en-caul in the embryonic sac. So my wife had like serious complications. She was in the hospital for a month before and a month after. So they were premature. Um, and they had to do an operation. There was like some pictures of the operation, and they like it's super rare for this to happen, but both of them were in the amniotic sac, and it's like backlit with like fucking doctors and shit. Um, but yeah, they were super premature, and they were all in the ICU or whatever for a month. So my wife was in the hospital for 2 months. I had the kid at home, and I was still working and shit because she was too young for like daycare or anything, no school. So, uh, but yeah, then I don't know what else there is. I mean, that's pretty much it. Now I got. I mean, my daughter's 7, my boys are 5. Uh, what else is there to tell? You know, I guess the other thing is like maybe how it ties into the show. Uh, I started working on motorcycles like 10 years ago. I just got a wild hair up my ass and I bought a fucking Honda CB750, and I couldn't tell you why. I was just like, oh, that's something I hadn't experienced. I was like, I've never ridden a motorcycle, didn't know how to do it. And I started looking into like how to ride a motorcycle and shit. And by the way, I never had cable, right? So growing up, I didn't have cable. All this time spent, like I told you, I had fucking shopping carts in my living room. I didn't have cable money. So I missed all the fucking chopper build off stuff. Like I didn't see any of that shit. I had no idea what choppers were when I bought my first motorcycle. Never even heard of it. Um, but I went on the internet and I was like, how do you shift this thing, type of thing. And I saw like Chop Call, and I saw like fucking all those forums and shit. And I was like, oh, dude, those are fucking sick. And that's how I started getting into like, like fabricating motorcycles. You know what I mean? My first motorcycle, I actually should post a picture of this piece of shit because I really butchered it. Dude, I fucking cut the rear of the frame off and got rid of the, no, I still had shocks on it, but I made these struts to hold up the back of the fender that I bobbed. They were made out of aluminum, and they must have been like, dude, maybe 1/8 inch aluminum. So like they flexed out, like it was fucking horrible, dude. Uh, like I remember riding it, and like those things got warped immediately, and it was scraping the tire and shit. And I had no fabrication skills. I didn't own any tools at the time, so I was just like, I made this fucking disgusting. I bobbed the back and put like a spring seat on it. And then I tried to sell it for way too much fucking money. Like I remember I wanted like $1,500 for it, and like the dude was like, "I'll give you $1,250," and I was like, "Nah, I don't need to sell it." But dude, I would have definitely sold that piece of shit for $1,250. Yeah, and then yeah, just rolling in, I get like I didn't have anybody in my life that was like into bikes. You know what I mean? Like I had no friends that were into bikes. My dad wasn't into bikes. Like nobody. I didn't know anybody until like I got pretty serious about it, and I wanted to build like a chopper, and I got 1980 Ironhead, and this was like maybe my 5th or 6th bike that I bought because I just went like I just dove into the motorcycle thing. I was like, I want all the bikes, I want to do all the cool stuff, and just accumulating just very basic knowledge about like how tools work and shit. Like I wasn't ever a very handy guy. All I did was party and fuck off, so I didn't have any actual like mechanical skill sets, um but then I found this show, and I was like, what the fuck? I didn't know there was a chopper community around here, and it just like blew my fucking mind because like I didn't. How do you meet people? You know what I mean? Like if there's no content being created, you don't know when the shows are. It's not like this shit, like your local shows are in fucking like Chopper magazines. Like that's all like the big boy stuff. So like local community stuff, like that's when I was like, oh shit, dude. And yeah, just started getting into it like that way, like meeting people that do shit, like meeting you in Greece and meeting fucking people that know stuff that you can like bounce ideas off of, or they can have a part that you need.
First time we met was at Truth Show, right?
Mm-hmm.
Chop
The
Cut
Winter
Show.
Expo. Yeah. Yeah. You guys had just started. Like, I remember you had just started. Like, when was Chopper Bob first on the show? Like episode. Yeah, it was like early on. Because I remember I saw.
We started in July.
Yeah. 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 So like I remember I saw it because at the time I was just looking for Chopper content. You know what I mean? And I had a bunch of shows like they weren't even Chopper shows, or like motorcycle shows. And then I saw a Lowlife Chopper podcast. I was like, I'm gonna check that out. So I subscribed to it. Probably on your first fucking episode, but I didn't listen to it until I saw Chopper Bob pop up, and I was like, New Hampshire Chopper Bob. Like these guys got to be out of Mass. And then I listened to it and I was like, dude, these guys are in fucking New Hampshire, out of control. But yeah, that was huge. Like I don't know what the scene was around here before, but I fucking didn't know anybody, and I didn't know how to get in touch with anybody. And I didn't have Instagram, by the way. Like I didn't have any of that social media stuff. So I didn't even know there was like a Chopper community on Instagram. Like I had nothing.
Before the show, the only dude I knew with a chopper was Greeks. I didn't know anybody else.
Yeah. It's
hard
to.
I met Chopper Bob, and then he introduced me to Brandon. And I met a couple dudes through Brandon.
Yeah.
But even still, then it was just like a handful of dudes.
Yeah. Yeah. And not a lot of people that had been doing it. You know what I mean? Like, not at least that I knew of. Like the guys that did do it, it was like they were kind of brought up around that stuff. Maybe, but like guys like me that were new to the whole concept of fucking like wrenching on shit, it was like that was a boon, But yeah, so that's my life. Pretty much. I probably left a bunch of shit out. I mean, again, it's just like I kind of feel like the first maybe like 2/3 of my life were just like squandered and wasted. You know what I mean? Like not until really like I now I feel like who I'm supposed to be. You know what I mean? Now that I have like a purpose and interests and hobbies and like family and shit, like I'm like, oh okay, now I'm a person. Like I don't know, fuck, I wasn't doing shit, dude. I could have died and like, you know what I mean? Like nobody would have cared. It would have been like, oh, what a tragedy. A fucking high school dropout fucking loser that has shopping carts in his living room is dead. Big fucking deal. We'll get over it. Now people actually care if I die. Let's go get you some kids. But yeah, I guess, is there any questions that you had that you fucking, any clarifications?
I had some questions, but I don't know where in the story.
Well, you already know how I lost my virginity.
Yeah. Very romantically.
There's a Bronco that's for sale right down the street. Same exact one I had. The tan and red. Yeah, thinking about picking it up. I need a Bronco project in my life.
I guess the only thing like you didn't clarify is how long from when you started with the motorcycle shit until present day and like what that looked like.
Yeah. So my first the first bike I got was the CB 750. I turned down the $1,250 very generous offer. And I ended up trading it for a non-working XS 650 that was hardtailed. Because at the time I didn't have a welder, I didn't have any of that shit. Yeah, I think my father-in-law gave me like a mechanic's tool set from Harbor Freight or whatever, and I just kind of was working on stuff as far as I could take it, you know. So like I could disassemble like a motherfucker, but like the assembly part and stuff, like in any fabrication was kind of like out of the question. So I didn't even know any welders. I didn't know like, so I was like, oh, I got to get out of this, and I would buy like cheap motorcycles and then like flip them. So I've owned personally, I must have owned at least 50 motorcycles in the last 10 years, at least. Yeah. Cause like, dude, I had a Suzuki Savage I picked up for $300. I never rode the fucking thing. I picked it up and I sold it in the spring for triple the money, you know? And then I had a CM 550 and I just made it look like a cafe racer and then like flipped that for like twice as much money. So there was a period of time where I was just kind of cleaning stuff up and making it look like I was actually really like kind of into this CB, the cafe racer style, you know, like the bobbers and the cafe racer styles was something that I could actually achieve because it's all bolt on stuff, you know, like you're not changing the geometry of the frame. You're not hardtailing it. You don't need like fabrication skills. You can just put on a set of Clubman bars and the original controls and you call it cafe racer and you can sell that shit, you know? So, but then I really just, once I got that first Harley, I got it for $2,500. It had to be running and riding, you know, and it was fucking awesome, dude. It's 1980. I threw some apes on there. I started doing things like I started getting a little outside my comfort zone with, you know, doing the clutch adjustments and like the mechanical stuff, like replacing the fucking levers and stuff, just really struggling through it all by myself. I didn't have any friends that were into motorcycles or even remotely interested. And then at that point, when I found the podcast, and I was like, I actually really like choppers. And if I'm going to do this and I'm going to spend time and money fucking doing this, I'm going to just dive into it. I'm going to get over my head and just see what the fuck happens. And then I ended up cutting that thing apart. I ripped it apart, cut the frame, got the hardtail for it. But then I fell on some hard times. It was around that point where like my wife, she was always the breadwinner. She was like a scientist and shit. But we decided that I was going to work and she was going to stay home with the kids, you know, and be a homemaker. And that was really important to us, you know, like I didn't want to send my kids to some fat bitches watching Dirty Dancing. So it was like just a big life change, try to like come up with that cash, you know? So I ended up selling that to a dude. And that sucked, but I was like, I'm going to get a chopper soon, you know? So I just grinded away, selling flipping bikes for a while, really, just like Craigslist finds. Cause like at that time I didn't have Facebook either, by the way. So I'm on Craigslist with a bunch of serial killers picking up these fucking shitty bikes and then flipping them, like really quickly. And, yeah, I was able to get, I think, I don't know if the next bike I got was the 03 Sportster. Oh, you know what I did? I financed a bunch of fucking bikes. I went and got like an 09 Sportster, like a Nightster or whatever. And then I got like an even newer one, you know. But it sucked because I was like, I'm paying $200 something a month on these fucking things all winter long, by the way. And that's when like it was like in the dead of February. I'm like, I've been paying for this fucking thing. I can't even ride it. And I don't even like it, you know? Like you can't even change the bars on those fucking things. The top tree like integrates like the risers and stuff, so you can't like do cool shit with it. So I was just like, I sold it back for what I paid for it. And then I got a tax return and I convinced my wife that it was an excellent idea that I spend it all on a chopper, you know? And I ended up getting that 03, which it's funny. I bought off of this dude. You've talked about him before. The dude whose shovel head caught fire at that show.
Yeah.
Derek Savage's friend. So I went down to Mass and I bought that '03 Sporty off them. And Derek was there and he helped load it up.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was actually then, because they're young, they're a little bit younger than me. And it was at that time, you know, that dude Jake, he mentioned, Chopper Swapper. And I was like, Chopper Swapper? He's like, on Instagram. And I was like, there's like a motorcycle community and you can get parts and shit on like Instagram. And I went on Instagram and I was like, holy shit, it was like, cause I didn't have any social media presence, like I got rid of all that shit. I wasn't like, I was like a flip phone guy my whole life. You know what I mean? Like if I even had a phone, dude, I was a landline guy forever. Like even when it was like way out of fashion, like I remember I used to make like recordings for the fucking voicemail at our apartment, like just like recording like Wu-Tang fucking sound bites and shit, But yeah, when they mentioned like Chopper Swapper, and I was like, oh fuck. And then I went on Instagram and I was like, oh damn, dude, there's all sorts of So my rule about Instagram was it's not gonna be like Facebook, because like that's why I got rid of it. I'm not following anybody I know, like anybody like from high school or any of that shit that pops up, I'm not following my dad. Dude, I'm not following my brother-in-law. I'm not following anybody. I'm just following chopper dudes. So my rule is, you click on someone's profile and there's like 9 pictures. 6 of those have to be about bikes, and they should be about choppers or painting or something. And then you get a follow. And if I click on it and it's just like you and your wife at the fucking marina, I'm not following you because it's my chopper machine. I want to look at it, and then when I scroll, it's just all cool shit. So yeah, I got that. That bike was already hardtailed, but what it did was really give me the confidence to like once I started going through it, and I was like, dude, there's a lot of shit hacked together on here. You know what I mean? Like it gave me the confidence to like really just like I got this too. Like this thing runs down the road, and like motherfucker's been riding this. Like that's when I was like, all right, I'm gonna, first thing I did was I ripped stuff off and I bought a welder, and the battery tray on it was like a bunch of flat stock that was bolted into the bottom of the frame to like hold the battery. And I was like, that's janky as fuck, dude. Like it wasn't even like good flat stock. So I was taking all those bolts and learning how to weld at the same time, and like put in a battery box, and then like swapping out the front end and taking out the wheel, swapping out the wheels. When I bought it, the wheel had like a huge groove in it because the fender was like just dug in. Yeah, and I really learned. That was the bike that I learned. I ripped it apart and put it together like 5 times over like 5 years. Just like learning on it, painting on it. Like it's had like 4 different paint jobs. But yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, and I still ride that bike. I still love that bike. But that's how. Yeah, that's really. I mean, I never really thought of it that way, but like really, it kind of like the podcast kind of. I don't know, kind of kept me engaged. Like it wasn't so unobtainable. You know what I mean? And also coming from like like chopper guys, I never heard a chopper podcast. You hear tons of motorcycle podcasts. I was listening to some lame ass podcast, dude. Like just because it was about motorcycles, I just wanted to like listen to it all the time, but not specifically choppers. And choppers is a different thing, But yeah, it's the last 10 years of my life have been definitely the most rewarding. Like finding something that I'm passionate about, like with choppers, that makes me a better person. Like, dude, now I'm the type I went from like not owning a tool set to, dude, I fucking do everything at my house. I'm ripping down load bearing walls. I'm putting up electric shit. I'm putting in fucking furnaces, and, like it's a skill set that translates everywhere, and now I have a purpose, and, you know, having a family and kind of balancing it all. And it's just, it's been great, Before it's like, I don't know what I would have been if it wasn't for like family and motorcycles, you know? Because, dude, you can't party into your 40s and 50s. I guess you can. I can't. Drinking malt liquor and shit. Like, that's so boring, too. I feel like I've squandered like 30 years of my life. You know what I mean? Like, what a boring person. Oh, what, you like cool music? Fuck you. Oh, you paint some pictures? Yeah. I just feel like now it's like, yeah, I know what I'm about.
Yeah. I feel like I'm like now getting to the point where like I still like to like go to the parties and shit, like chopper parties, not like house parties.
Yeah.
Um, like I'm almost past like the whole like getting fucked up. You know what I mean? Like, not saying like I won't. You know what I mean? But like now, that's not like what I look forward to anymore. Like when we first started the show, I was like, dude, deadbeat, I'm gonna be fucking wrecked
Yeah.
and walk around the woods naked. Um, that's like not even on my radar anymore. Now I'm just like, and it's weird, dude. It's kind of like what you're saying is like seeing yourself grow over the years. Now I'm to the point where it's like I'm looking, and like as gay as it's gonna sound, I'm not like looking for the parties anymore. I'm like looking to make memories.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I'm looking to like have a good fucking time, get out of my comfort zone, and like be with good people. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Whether it's getting fucked up or just like riding motorcycles.
Yeah.
I don't. It's just weird, and like I don't know if it's because like I'm getting older now. Like I mean, I'm not even old. I'm 36, but it's weird to like see it over the years, dude. It's like I used to like really like look forward to like getting out in the woods and getting fucked up with all the homies on the chopper.
Oh, yeah.
But it's like now I'm just like I'm looking to like for those memories. Like whether we drink or whether we're sober that weekend and eat fucking shitty hamburgers.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm looking for now. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Well, and also it's like, dude, you can't really get that fucked. You can't be hungover as like a father, a husband, and a dad. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I mean, I still drink quite a bit, but like when I get up in the morning, I'm at it. I can't sit around. You know what I mean? Like, I have so much shit I have to do. So it's like, I get drunk, and yeah, at the chop look, I found myself in a state of beastly intoxication. But when I woke up in the morning, I went and picked my kids up at fucking 8 o'clock in the morning. You know, like, just wake up, drink some coffee, get the fuck out, and start about your day. You know what I mean? But yeah, you don't, yeah, like getting, dude, I used to get so fucked up. It was like, I was like falling through walls and shit, you know, like, and yeah, you want to, and by the way, you can't ride motorcycles if you're that fucked up. Impossible, dude. Impossible.
It's like,
Yeah, if you have like 3 beers, dude, I start getting like squirrely on the motorcycle. I'm like, you know, so
oh yeah. I just if I start fucking like drinking beers, like not even getting fucked up, but like we were saying, like 3 beers, dude, I'm riding like a fucking madman after that.
oh yeah,
It's over.
yeah, yeah, and you have
You
so
know what I mean?
much to
Like
lose
actually,
too, you know.
good point. Like you seen it. Like when we left that big party we went to that time. Do you remember? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
The anniversary party.
yep,
It was me, you, and Grease.
yeah,
I drank like probably like 3 or 4 PBRs and like spaced out. Like I wasn't drunk by any means, or like probably not even like really buzzing, but like enough where like, dude, I whole shot every fucking light that day.
yeah,
Every light, dude, I
yeah,
was fucking
yeah,
like fucking
yeah. We tore
emptying
out of
every
there.
gear.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
yeah, I don't know what it is, man. It's just like I like drinking a couple beers with the boys, but it's like, and like I said, I don't know if it's because I'm getting older, like slowly getting older, but it's like getting like super fucked up and staying up till fucking the sun comes up. It's like
oh yeah, dude.
it's just not.
Nothing
It's
good
like
happens
not.
after 2 a.m.
Yeah, it's just like not my jam anymore.
Yeah,
Like I just want to get with the boys and ride and like have a good time and like do dumb shit and laugh and like do shit like that. You know what I mean? Like really
Oh
like
yeah.
making those memories, like making stories.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can't do
It's
anything
weird,
cool when
dude.
you're just like fucked up. You're like I'm all about it. Like, go ahead and cut loose, do it, do your thing. You know what I mean? Like, but I drink a lot, but I don't drink to excess. You know, like I don't get, like I never get so fucked up that that I'm fucking covering one eye to drive home. You know what I mean? Because if I do that, like I just have too much to lose. You know, things are
Yeah.
really valuable to me now. You know, like my life is valuable to me. Like before, it didn't matter. When I was a young man, I didn't give a fuck, dude. Dude, I almost died like so many times, like doing dumb shit, drunk, like fucking almost drowned in a river, almost jumped off I jumped off a cliff one time and I missed a rock by like maybe a cunt hair, dude. Like I could have just been pink mist. And
Yeah.
again, when I look back and I look at like everybody I grew up with, dude, nobody's alive. All those dudes are dead. Everybody I grew up with is dead or in jail
You know
forever.
what I think it is now that I'm thinking about it? I just went and talked to this company that was trying to get me, and he pretty much like asked me like, "What's it take for you to come work here?" And my answer, like, without even thinking about it, I don't even know where this came from. Like, my answer was, make it worth me not being at home with my kids.
Yeah.
Make it worth me being here for fucking 8 to 10 hours a day. You know what I mean? And now I'm thinking maybe that's what it is. Like with the whole party and shit. It's like
Yeah.
at this point in my life, it's not worth me not being home with the kids to get fucked up in the woods. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I'm gonna not be home with the kids, I want to at least be making memories that I'm gonna remember for the rest of my life. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
don't know. Maybe that's it. Like I'm just like growing up like a little bit, not too much to be a square, but yeah, I don't know, man.
No, it is. I mean, that's all I think about is like, I don't know, man. Like, I wanted to get like after the chop luck, it's like, yeah, go and have a fun time and shit. But your priorities are very different,
Yeah.
because, and that's why I think, I think everybody should have kids because it makes you a better person.
Oh,
And
100%.
oh yeah,
100%.
because it's the only time. Like, yeah, go ahead and get married. You're still pretty selfish, but wait
Yeah.
until you have a kid and you have to be like what the sacrifices you have to make,
I promise you
just to keep them
this.
alive.
For anybody that doesn't have kids, you and like this isn't like the shit on people that don't have kids. So don't anybody take this that. You will never reach your best self until you have people that you love so much you would die for, depending on you.
Yeah.
I can tell you right now, I have like reached like what I thought was the highest when I was young, crushing it. I was paving for a living, making $1,000 a week, and crushing. You know what I mean? Had girlfriends, traveling all over the fucking place, doing whatever the fuck I wanted. And I thought then, I'm like, dude, I fucking made it. I'm a high school dropout. I'm crushing the game.
Mm.
No, no. When I had kids, dude, and there was actually, like you said, when you have a purpose, you have a reason to get the fuck out of bed, not because like you need to make some money to fucking go out this weekend, but because there's little tiny people that
Yeah.
like need you to get the
Not
fuck up.
not because you have to, because you want to. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's the
Like
big
when you get
difference.
to that point in life, then you've reached the top.
Yeah.
Because like now it doesn't matter. There is no obstacle put in your fucking way that you're not gonna run through. There's no
Oh yeah.
job that you're not gonna climb the fucking ladder because you want to be better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Um, like I said, man, I'm a fucking high school dropout, GED dropout, went to prison for fucking 2 years and some change. My fucking arrest record is ridiculous. You know what I mean? And here I am in between two companies, going back and forth on which one's going to give me the better 6-figure fucking salary. And like that's not like a trying to flex on anybody. If I didn't have kids, I wouldn't give a fuck about any of that. None of that shit would matter.
Oh yeah.
I'd be like, okay, cool. I'm
I'd
working
sleep.
at fucking Denny's. That way I can party all day and go work at Denny's at nighttime. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's the thing is you don't really care that much about yourself. You know what I mean? Like,
no, you don't.
But when you have kids, it's like, you know, even when you have a wife, you're like, oh, well, she loves me. So she doesn't give a fuck if I'm a fucking fuck up. You know what I mean? Like, she'll be there for you. But once you have kids, it's like, it's like,
and it's not even that they give a fuck because your kids don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like, all they care about is like, you're their dad. They love you no matter what. But to you, you're like, I got to be the best motherfucker that I can be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like I'm saying, I'm not pressuring anybody to have kids. I'm not saying you're a scumbag if you don't have kids. But I'm telling you right now, if you think you're crushing the game right now, when you have kids or family or whatever that depends on you, you will push yourself to levels that you did not even fucking think were ever capable.
Oh,
it's crazy.
It's a motivator.
It's
and
crazy.
It's not even like you don't have to have your own kids. Like adopt a kid, or if you are with someone that already has kids, you know, like being a dad is like the best fucking thing in the world.
Wild.
Yeah.
Wild. It's crazy and this is like what I always tell people. And like anybody can say, fuck you, you're wrong, blah, 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 blah. I don't care. You know what I mean? I don't care. This is the podcast. I'm going to share how the fuck I feel. And if people think I'm wrong, that's fine. You will never, and I've said this before, and people are like, you're an idiot. And like, some people don't believe me, whatever. You will never know what true love is, true unconditional love, until you have a child.
Yeah.
You can think, oh, my girl loves me this, my girl loves me that. Guess what? People get divorced.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Not wishing that on anybody. People get divorced because you fall out of love, or like she cheated on you, or you got caught cheating on her. Get through all that. Guess what? Your kids are still your kids. Your kids still love you, unless you're a piece of shit. You know what I mean? Like beat the shit out of them because you're drunk. Maybe they might not love you then.
They'll still love you.
But
you know what I mean?
A child's love to their parents is so unconditional. Yeah. And that's like what pushes you to do shit you would never strive to do. Like, it's fucking crazy. Like, as a dad, I've literally gotten, like, run down. Like, so fucking tired. Any other time in my life, I would have been like, fuck this, man. I'd rather be in fucking prison. Like, I'm talking, dude, working 15, 16-hour fucking days, 7 days a week, in the fucking snow, building houses, like shit that I would not want to be fucking doing. But like never thought once about getting out of bed to go do it. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just weird, man. Like kids will elevate you to like a whole new level. It's mind blowing. And like, I'm not going to lie, kids are hard as fuck, man. It's a lot of fucking work.
It's the most work you'll ever do.
Like so much fucking work. But I can like honestly say, so people say this shit all the time, like, oh, if it wasn't for my kids, I'd be dead, blah, blah, blah. If it was not for my kids and my wife, 1,000%, I would be dead or back in prison. 100,000%. There's not a doubt in my fucking mind.
I'd definitely be dead. Yeah.
Every one of my, like, this is no bullshit. Every one of my childhood friends are dead except one.
Yeah.
One. And his little brother is dead. You know what I mean? Every single person I grew up with is dead. There's not one of them. There's just me and one other kid left.
Yeah.
And dude, there's no chance if it wasn't for my fucking wife and my kids, I'd be dead. Or 100% be back in prison.
Yeah. I think about it like generationally, you know, like, you know how important you are to the universe? You know what I mean? Like, you're the only Fred there'll ever be or has ever been. And then all your offspring are the same way. And, like, we all came from fucking whatever you believe in. Like, we came from a long lineage of violence and, you know, like you're a survivor. Like, you are amazing that you lived through all that bullshit. The bubonic plague, the fucking, you know, like, there's families that their bloodlines were cut off, but your family, you know what I mean? Like, you fucking survived all that shit. And it's the first, you know, like when you have kids, you think of it like in the future. You know what I mean? Like, you're not just like, where's my next meal coming from? Where's my next paycheck coming from? You like want to make the world a better place. You want to make like your child's life easier. You want to impart knowledge and be like, dude, do as I say, don't do as I do type of shit, you know? Like, I already did all this stuff, and this is what happens when you do that, you know? So yeah, it's definitely a journey, man, and it's definitely the most rewarding thing I've ever done my entire life. And like you said about unconditional love, like, it's actual unconditional. You know what I mean? Like, love with a partner is kind of conditional. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
You have to do stuff for the other person. Like your kid, you don't have to do anything. You can do everything for them. They're still gonna love you.
You can fucking ground your kid, yell at them, ground them, send them to a room. They're gonna be mad at you, but they're still love you. They're gonna cry because they're upset that you're upset.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, the only unconditional love you get in this world is by children and your dog.
Yeah, the dogs. That helps. That's a big ego booster. But the other thing too is, like, you know, I grew up in a long line of men, you know, like I have 2 brothers. My dad, he has like 3 brothers, you know, like having a daughter was the most amazing thing to me. Really changed me.
Yeah. My daughter definitely changed.
Yeah, just the way that you, like,
for sure.
As far as like when women go, you know.
When I went to prison, I had my 2 sons, Dominic and Nick. Dominic was 2 years old, and Dylan was just about to be a year when I went in. And dude, I was still a fucking hellion, like doing bad shit, man. I'm talking like bad shit, like fucking kicking people's doors. You know what I mean? Like, and like again, I'm not trying to like portray myself as this crazy badass dude. Like, just to like paint the story, like with my 2 sons, I was still very young. Dude. I had Dominic when I was 21. And at that stage, dude, like still being a badass fucking kid. Like, I'm talking like ski mask, kicking people's fucking doors in, like, what's up, bitch? Like, where's my fucking money type shit. And when I went into prison, dude, it broke my heart so fucking bad. I didn't see my kids for the first 6 months because I didn't want them to come see me in prison. And somehow I ended up like passing off that they were coming in to see me in the army. So my kids thought I was in the army the whole time I was in prison.
Shit.
And I remember when I was in jail, like 6 months in, it just like hit me. And I'm like, dude, I'm a fucking piece of shit. You know what I mean? Like, I brought these 2 kids into the world. They didn't fucking ask to be here. You know what I mean? They don't owe me nothing. They don't owe this world nothing. Like, I fucking owe them to be a good fucking dad. You know what I mean? And so after 6 months in, I'm like, dude, I got to get my shit together. Wrote a whole business plan of like starting my own business. I knew I was going to be a felon when I got out. Wrote a whole business plan. Started working out every single fucking day. Took parenting classes. And then I started getting like religious again when I was in there. I grew up as a baptized fucking Catholic. Went to an Irish Catholic church my entire fucking life. Ended up hating it as I got older because I was forced to go. But once I was in jail, I started like getting a little bit more religious. Not going to church, just like doing my own thing. You know what I mean? Talking to God. And it's so weird, dude. I remember like I had 30 days left before I got out, and I was scared to fucking death. So I went in with young kids, and now my kids are fucking 3 or almost 4 years old and 3 years old. And I was terrified. I'm like, they're not even gonna know who the fuck I am. You know what I mean? And I remember like, it sounds so fucking corny. I know a lot of our fucking listeners are like satanic fucking worshippers and think people that like God are fucking queer and shit. But to each your fucking own, you know what I mean? But I remember like one night I had 30 days left. That night I was fucking just bugging out. and just nervous as fuck to go back to like reality. And I don't know why, for some reason, I thought I'm like having a girl would calm me the fuck down. I feel like, and so I remember that night, I fucking was just like doing my thing, talking to God, and like I'm not like your normal like religious dude. Like I don't go to church. I just don't like that atmosphere. I just like prefer to like talk to God my own fucking way. I don't get on my knees to pray. I swear when I talk to God. You know what I mean? I do it my own fucking way. Um, but I remember talking. I was like, man, fucking, you need to help because I can't come back here. You know what I mean? I'm like, bless me with a fucking daughter when I get out of here to like level me the fuck out, take some of this anger out of my body. And met my wife like, well, not met my wife. I dated my wife all through middle school. But like, got back together with her like a month after I got out, and 6 months later, she was pregnant with a girl. It was just
Holy
wild
shit.
because like that was the last time I ever thought about it or talked about it or anything was that night, and it just like ended up happening. And between my wife, my daughter, and obviously my boys, dude, like motherfuckers don't know. Like people meet me now and they're like, oh, like Lowlife's a pretty good dude, blah blah blah. But like, dude, fucking 10 years ago, I was a bad dude, like a really fucking bad man. And yeah, I don't know how we got on this huge fucking kids thing right now, but don't let people tell you if you have kids, your life's over, because that's not the case.
Oh, your
For
life's
me,
just
my
starting, buddy.
life got better once I had kids.
Oh yeah.
Because everybody wants that. Everybody wants purpose. Everybody wants to feel like you have a reason. You know what I mean? And I know we're getting super deep here, but that's what we fucking do on this podcast, all right?
Do what we
But
want.
everybody wants a purpose. Nobody wants to wake up and just feel like you're just going through the motions. That's how you get depressed. That's how you get anxiety. That's how all this shit happens. If you don't feel like when you wake up you have a purpose, you have fucking a reason to wake up, you know what I mean? Get the fuck out of bed, do something with your goddamn life. Life's a lot fucking harder, man. And I'm not saying it's easy with kids, but it's not. It's probably the most stressful I've ever had in my whole life. It's harder than being in prison.
Oh, yeah. That's what it is, though, is like kids are hard, wives are hard, choppers are hard. You know, like hardship makes you hardy. It makes you a
Yeah.
better person, you know? Like you're supposed to have hardships because it makes you more resilient. And like if you don't have hardship, then you don't appreciate stuff, you know? Like that's why there's so many fucking Karens. That's why there's so many fucking, you know, like because they don't have any hardships. They don't know, like, dude, like chucking chicken nuggets at a fucking McDonald's worker, it's like not even something like out of the realm of possibilities for something I would do. You know what I mean? Like it just, yeah, just make your life nice and hard by choice, and you will overcome. And then don't sweat that little shit. You know, like it doesn't even affect you. It's just water off a duck's back, goose, fucking shit out of a goose's ass or whatever.
Oh, fuck. All right, well, listen. We're 2 hours and 8 minutes into this. Before we get any deeper down this fucking hole, let's thank some of the people that made this Dr. Phil episode possible. Up first, we have No Luck Paintworks. Dan cooking up the dopest motherfucking paint jobs on the East Coast. You heard it here. Don't give a fuck what you say, what your opinion is. Dan is the motherfucking man when it comes to custom paint, whether it's for your chopper, diner, bagger, whatever the fuck you want. He will make it reality. So go check out No Luck Paintworks on Instagram. Next, we got Lowbrow Customs. Everything you need for the road ahead. Probably the only website where you can build an entire fucking motorcycle from one fucking website. Tyler and his team support everything in this fucking community, so you can return the favor by shopping at Lowbrow Customs for all of your chopper fucking needs. Next, we got Deadbeat Customs. Steve, the fucking creator of the Deadbeat Retreat, where all lowlifes go to die or make memories, whatever you want to do. Steve has literally been backing this show since almost the very beginning. Through all the bullshit, through getting canceled, through fucking walking naked through the woods at his fucking event. He's always had our back. It's never turned on us. So go check out deadbeatcustoms.com. He has a little bit of everything for everyone, from fucking Dynabro shit to luggage for your fucking motorcycles to riding gear, chopper shit, whatever you need. You can find it at deadbeatcustoms.com. Use code LOWLIFE at checkout. Next, we got Steel City Blacksmithing, the homie Josh in Pittsburgh, twisting everything metal. Probably even twisting shit that's not metal. Who knows with this motherfucker?
Twist your dick off.
Yeah, he's twisting up some brass pegs right now that are so fucking sexy. So goddamn sexy. This motherfucker will bring your build to the next level, I promise you. So go support your local motherfucking blacksmith. Support fucking Steel City Blacksmithing and go buy some shit and tell them the boys from the Low Life Chopper podcast sent you. Next, we got Stay Strong Co., the only hot sauce that these two fucking sensitive hooligans will put in their mouth. All right? The only thing we love more than our children is fucking the goddamn hot sauce that this motherfucker makes. Get over to staystrongco.com. Check out the other shit he does. He does actually a bunch of shit. He makes jewelry, hoodies, jackets, all kinds of shit.
Kicker pedals.
He does fucking everything. Check out staystrongco.com and tell them your boys from the Low Life Chopper podcast sent you. Next, we got Oxford Chopper Co. Out of Oxford, Connecticut. Making custom parts for your fucking choppers. This dude makes probably some of the sickest handlebars you've ever fucking seen. They are nice. So fucking nice. You know your boy loves those hard-mounted fucking risers. I love that shit to death. It's so sexy. It looks so motherfucking good. And old boy fucking brought it to a whole new level. Check out Oxford Chopper Co. on Instagram. Tell them the dudes from the Low Life Chopper podcast sent you. If you want a chance to win these bars, get on that motherfucking Patreon. Or if you want a bike built and have some time to sit on it, hit him up. He does that as well. He does fucking everything. You need a transmission rebuilt?
He got the Bobby Hill merch, too. I don't know if he's going to have any left when this airs, but the Bobby Hill, dude.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome.
Super dope. So go check him out on Instagram. Tell him that you heard about him on the Low Life Chopper podcast. We appreciate you. Next, we got the Low Life Chopper podcast. Go check out the motherfucking merch store. You can find the link in the bio. If you're not on Instagram, we said the link in the beginning of this show, so rewind it and go fucking listen to it again.
lowlifechopperpodcast.bigcartel.com.
Boom. You can buy all kinds of merch for your homies for Christmas. Buy it for yourself for Christmas. Fuck it. You deserve to treat yourself.
Yeah, I bought a bunch of shit for myself.
That's one way to support us. You can join the motherfucking Patreon for as low as $1 a month. There's a lot of different ways to support us. So whatever way works best for you, even if it's not money, just sharing the post on Friday, that's support, motherfucker. That's big. And we appreciate you. Yeah, so any way that you can support the show, we highly appreciate it. Next, we got Ryno Resto.
Inconveniently located in Henniker, New Hampshire. We do all things vapor honing. I am backed up right now. John Luke, Stay Strong Co. He just dropped off a fucking panhead, baby.
Shoot.
I can't wait to start digging into that. I started
itemizing. How did I not look at that at the chop block?
Dude, it's gonna be sick. He got cases down. He's doing the whole deal, dude. Crank up. It's gonna be beautiful. Damn. But yeah, shout out to John Luke and his girl there. Jess, what a bunch of fun people.
Yeah, so fun.
I love hanging. I wish I could convince them to move up here. I'd hang out with those dudes every day. So much fun.
100%.
Yeah. But yeah, get in on if you have some vapor honing stuff, let me know what you got. I got like a backlog right now. So I'll fit you in though. And it's something small. Shoehorn you in.
Woo.
Last but not least, Loctite's motherfucking chop shop.
Conveniently located in Epping, New Hampshire, for all of your pinstriping needs. Hit me up, Loctites Chop Shop on Instagram or Loctites Chop Shop at lowlifechopperpodcast.com.
For all
you
your
want.
Christmas ornaments. If you guys want Christmas ornaments, you got to get them in now for Christmas.
Too late, you missed the boat. Sorry, motherfucker. Maybe next year. Yeah, if you got some shit, some build shit that you got going on, you want me to pinstripe it, you can send it to me via mail, or if you're local, you can drop it off. Or who knows, maybe I won't be a hermit and I'll come up to your place and do it. Whatever you want to do, custom signs, oil cans, fucking whatever you want. Hit me up, Loctite Chop Shop, and we'll make it happen. With that, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Now you know your other host over here. You know him a little bit better now. Now you see where the homie comes from, where his personality came from, where his work fucking ethic came from, why he's such a good dad. You know what I mean? You got it all in one episode, motherfuckers. Hopefully you enjoyed the Ryno and Loctite fucking parenting advice at the end of this show. If you didn't, that sucks. Anyways, we will see you motherfuckers next week. Enjoy your motherfucking weekend and go make some goddamn babies.
Oh, that's the fun part.
Yeah.